Hello, everybody. It looks like I am live. Woohoo! Okay, getting everything set up here. As you can see, I'm super casual today because when you start off lives on Monday, you get all dressed up and you make things happen. And by Wednesday, you have a ponytail and a hoodie on. So that's where we're at today. So if you're here with me, if you're jumping on with me, give me a hi, hello in the comments so I can know you're here. All right, so Wednesday already. How did that happen? Seems crazy. I seriously can't even believe it's already Wednesday. This morning I went to the chiropractor. Thanks, Rebecca. I got it on my vacation the other day and I'm kind of in love with it. It's super comfy. Also, it's kind of your brand colors, so I'm glad you like it. Yeah, so I went to the chiropractor this morning and we were all really laughing because at the same time that I was at the chiropractor, Steven, my husband, was taking our dog Izzy to the chiropractor. And I was laughing because there are still so many people who don't know that animal chiropractic work is a thing. So I'm here to spread a PSA today that animal chiropractic work is a thing. And Izzy's chiropractor is actually kind of semi-famous on TikTok. He actually does like big animals too, like from the zoo and horses and stuff, which is like mind-blowing cool. He has the coolest videos. But our Izzy started kind of forming a little hump on her back and she was just uncomfortable. And someone recommended that we go see him. And after we did, she just started feeling so much better. So here lately, it wasn't really her back. She just kept shaking her head, like constantly shaking her head. So we took her to the vet, thought, gosh, she probably has an ear infection, right? So we take her to the vet, no infection, but they tell us to do ear wash. Then we keep doing the ear wash and it's just not working. She hates it and she's not getting any better. She's just constantly like shaking her head like there's water or something in her ears. So I thought, well, let's just take her back to the chiropractor and see if maybe he can do something for this. So she goes today and immediately she's like, not so sure of him. They have a really fun relationship because she knows that he helps her, but it's crazy because she's just like, it's like when you go to the doctor or something, if you get a shot or something, you know that it's going to help you, but there is a little bit of pain that comes with it too. So it was really fun to hear how that experience went for them this morning. So today, ever since I got back home from this morning, she has just been loving us and wiggling around and she's just so happy. She's the happiest dog. So man, I super believe in that stuff. I think that, he's helped her a ton and I'm really confident that this is going to help her little ear problem too. He did say that she would be a little bit sore today. So he recommended that we give her like a CBD treat or a little painkiller or something in case she was sore. So we give her part of a CBD treat. And I caught her earlier just standing in the hallway, like looking around, like, where am I? Guys, I think she was a little bit buzzed. Like she was having a really good day. So that's my fun story for today about I went to the chiropractor, but also so did my dog. And in case you didn't know, dog chiropractic is a thing. So hey Rebecca, hey Chloe, I'm super excited that both of you guys are here. I'm really excited to kick off day 3 of our content calendar challenge. I completely realize that a lot of people are really, really busy this week and that a lot of people are going to come back and watch this and they're probably not, going to catch me live one night this week. But I'm going to get in here and record all these videos anyways so that you can come back into the group and watch it whenever is convenient for you. And hopefully my goal from this is that you pick up even just a little tidbit of knowledge that you can use to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to content creation. I love creating creating content, but also it feels like the task in your business that just never freaking gets done, right? Is anybody with me? When you watch this, like raise an emoji hand for me, because I know that that's how it feels, even to me, even to someone who has a process for this, even, someone who does this on a regular basis. It can really feel like this just never ends. And it doesn't, right? Because another day comes along and you need to create something for that day, for that post, for that email, for that blog, or whatever the case is. On Monday, it came out of my mouth. I was like talking, rambling, and I said, it's like the laundry, where you just never get it done. But the more I think about that, it's actually really true that I always laugh that laundry is just never going to get done because, I mean, we're wearing clothes right now, right? You'd have to be walking around in nothing to end up getting the laundry ever done. So know that content creation in your business is never finished. But we can use some processes and some tools and some little tips and tricks to get ahead, to have a little bit of a peace of mind when it comes to content creation, so that hopefully we kind of take away a little bit of the stress and the overwhelm that comes with content creation. And if you're like me and you're creating a ton of content for your business or multiple pages, multiple groups, it can get a little overwhelming. So the main reason why I did this challenge is because I firmly believe that planning is the step that a lot of people are missing. But when you have a really solid plan for your content, you can actually then open up like the creative brain waves in your mind and sit down and write content that's compelling, or design graphics, or create images that are really exciting and fit with your brand. So I really hope that everyone, even the non-planners out there who are watching this, are going to see this and think, you know what, even if I don't plan to the extent of what Crystal's showing me, even if that's like too much for me, that I could sit down and plan a little bit, and that there is crazy power to doing that. And it could make such a difference in not only the quality of content that you put out, but also just the peace of mind that you have around this massive task for your business. So, yeah, that's my goal for you. And I hope that that's what you walk away from in this challenge. So yesterday we talked all about brainstorming topics, which I think is a really fun part of content creation. I know a lot of people may not feel that way. Topic brainstorming could be overwhelming. After I finished up last night, I thought of another little tip that I'll share with you here. Another great way that I do this is follow pages that your client base follows, right? And we're not going to steal ideas, right? But no great idea is ever completely original. We're tossing things around. We're doing things in our own manner, right? So follow pages that your client base is following. And when they post something that you're like, yes, that's amazing, I love that, jot down what that topic is and add it to your to-do list to talk about on your page. Because if you had that crazy reaction, it's really likely that your client base is going to have that crazy reaction to that topic too. So that's a really quick tip that I thought of last night that I thought I would share with you. So another way that you could tackle this is I actually have a freebie on my website, and I'll post a link to it after we finish up this video, but it's 100 social media post topics. I really just challenged myself one day, like, can I come up with 100? And I did. I was super excited. So after that, 100, and I wrote them down, I went ahead and put it into a PDF and said, I'm going to give this to everybody I know. So that's a great way. Don't reinvent the wheel when it comes to post topics. Look and see what's working for other people and grab a list like that one. There are tons all over the internet. I would love for you to download mine, but honestly, There are so many out there. Grab a list, download 10, I don't care, and highlight the topics that really speak to you. And don't think so much into this. Get out of your head a little bit and write down those topics that grabbed your attention, even just a bit. Create posts around them. It's not going to hurt anything. One of the biggest things about content marketing is showing up regularly. Of course, we all want to write that post or that email or that blog that really like lights everybody on fire and gets everybody really excited, but that's not going to happen every time. So don't stray away from posting anything just because you can't post the perfect thing. Go ahead and show up and remind people that you exist, right? Even if I couldn't think of a post today, I could post little Loretta the llama over here and say, look at her, she's so cute. And somebody on my page is going to love that because they have a similar style to me. They have a similar vibe, and that's the kind of people I'm looking for. So that's a quick little tip for you. Today, what are we going to do today? Today, we are going to choose a writing style. This is one of the columns in my Google Sheets template that I made for you. We're going to pick a call to action for each of these posts, and we're going to go ahead and categorize them. And this makes such a difference, all three of these things, in one, your peace of mind, but two, making sure that you're showing up in a great way for your audience. Don't forget that if you forget to sell sometimes, no one ever really is going to buy from you, right? Sometimes you still have to come in and say, hey, I'm Crystal and I make websites. Do you want to hire me? And unless I've done that, then some people would never think to go, you know what, I should contact Crystal. She makes websites, right? So don't forget that that call to action is super important. Hey, Rebecca, thanks so much for sharing that. She said, I didn't post for 4 days because I just couldn't think of the perfect thing to say. Girl, you don't need the perfect thing to say. You just need something to say. And over time, as you keep listening to your audience, as you keep, molding your business and creating it into what you want it to be, you'll come up with those more perfect things to say. I don't think more perfect's a word, but we're going to go with it, okay? So don't worry, perfectionism is not your key here. You want to post good content, but it really doesn't have to be perfect. Remind people that you exist. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the Google Sheets template in the comments here, because if you haven't downloaded it yet, if you haven't added it to your Google Drive, this is a great time to do that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about those three things that we're going to talk about today. So why on earth would we pick a writing style? And I'll get into specifics about the types of writing styles you can write down here. But why would we do that? Why is this necessary? The main reason is to alleviate blank page syndrome. I don't know where that term came from. I might have made it up one day, but blank page syndrome in my mind is like where you just look at the screen and you're like, I got nothing. There's nothing in here that can get itself to the keyboard that can write out anything that sounds good. But if we have some of these specifics written down for our post, like a writing style, then it becomes a little bit easier. One of the writing styles is short and sweet, because sometimes we need to remind ourselves that not every post has to be a novel, right? Not everything has to be educational and in-depth and well-researched. Sometimes it's like, this is Loretta the llama and she's pink, right? So sometimes it's just showing up in a short and sweet kind of manner and letting people know that you're there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys here so that we can talk about those writing styles. You'd think I'd be faster at this since I'm on a computer all day, but it's towards the end of the day. Okay, here we go. So column F here, we're talking about a writing style. And I said here, use this column to define how you're going to approach this specific topic. Are you simply giving information? Are you announcing a sale or a specific launch date? Are you going deeper into the why behind this topic? Or maybe are you proving your knowledge by providing a glimpse into the how? So I wrote out two different things that you could choose from. And I've seen both of these sets of writing styles work really well for clients in the past. One of them is like a what, when, where, what, when, where, and how, right? I left out the when. Let's go ahead and add me in. No, I didn't. Where? I left out the where. Okay, so you can choose from any of these things because maybe this speaks to you, right? Maybe you look at this and say, oh, this post is all about how. So we're going to talk about how I'm going to show up and do this thing for you. So maybe you're a roofer. I use that example a lot because we've probably all hired one or worked with one or talked to one at some point, right? But maybe the what would be, I offer roofing services. Very point blank, here's the thing that my company offers. The why is, why are they actually doing this? Why does this company want to see you have the best roof on your house, right? The when is saying storm season happens during this time period, and you should really call us for a storm inspection if you've had hail damage. That may be the case, right? Okay, so then the how is going to break down, how do they actually do it step by step. There's a magical number of 3 here, but you can approach this however you want. How would be, we're going to first do an inspection for you. Our second step is that we're going to work with your insurance company and figure out what it is that they're going to pay, or what your deductible is, or I don't know, because I'm not a roofer, right? But then the third step may be, we're going to let you pick a color, and then we're going to show up and we're going to roof your house. And that kind of breaks down, how do they actually come and do it? What does that look like for your business? Maybe the where is talking about, we serve the Dallas Metro, or we serve all of the United States, or whatever the case is for your business, right? If you ship products, the where becomes really important, because I don't know how many posts I see that's like, do you ship to the UK? Do you ship to Canada? Do you deliver to Hawaii for free? You know, what does that look like? So that where becomes really important for a lot of buyers to decide to buy from you. So that's my first set of writing styles that I like to look at. The second set here talks about more of a style, right? So I have long or story, which this is where you are going to have a few paragraphs here. You're going to dive into maybe a little bit of a story saying, you know, I started this business back in the day because of blah, blah, blah reason, whatever that long version for this post topic is for you. The next one is short and sweet. I love this one because when I see it pop up on my strategy document, on my planning document, I look at it and go, oh, I don't need to overthink this one. This one just needs to be really short and sweet. Another one is an outside link. You guys, I know we want to create all of the original content all the time, but that can be really exhausting. So an outside link pointing to another person who does a really great job at something similar, pulling in another expert, talking about let's give an example here. So Rebecca is on here and she's a doula. So if you're maybe a doula, maybe you're going to provide an outside link for the top car seats, right? That's something that moms are always looking at whenever they're about to have a baby, is which car seat do I buy? And it's so complicated. I've helped my sister with this. It's really complex, right? There's so many different things to look at. Or here's you know, a blog post that I found from another mom that's talking about you know, the top 10 things I would put in my hospital bag, or I would put in my bag to take to the birthing center, right? And that outside link gives you credibility as a business owner, but at the same time means that you're not creating all of that content from scratch. So you're showing up and saying, hey, here I am, pay attention to me, but you don't have to put in quite as much work as if you were writing that long story one. Now, the last one that I have here is a video. We all know how important video is for social media. Now, let me tell you, it took me a very long time to be able to show up well on video. And I think even the fact that I have my hair in a ponytail today is a massive win in my life, because I still used to think that I had to show up perfectly on video every time. But you know what? Now that I've mastered it a bit, not perfect, but it's so much easier. So where in your planning could you maybe challenge yourself to show up on video? So what does this look like in real time? If we take these writing styles, and right here, I have some newsletters that we've talked about sending out throughout the whole challenge. So this one is talking about ordering a cake is super easy. Here's all the different ways that you could order. This would be a how. Maybe this one is we offer delivery, details surrounding delivery, maybe the area that you deliver to, how much does it cost to have something delivered. This one really could go in a bunch of different directions, right? You could go short and sweet here, because you could just say, hey, we offer delivery. Why aren't you doing this? Save yourself some time. Or you could even go really fun with something like this and do a little video montage of you like loading up the cookies and stuff in the car and dropping them off at somebody's house, and how much fun it is and how much fun it would be just to get something delivered to your door. Or even taking a phone call to say, hey, I'm from out of town, but I want to send a tray full of cookies to grandma or whatever, and you dropping them off. You could do a really fun video with that. So maybe this one here is all about COVID. So birthdays look different this year. We're being empathetic. So maybe here we're telling a little bit of a story. You could even tell a story from a customer. Maybe one of your long-standing customers said, you know what, we typically order like this big cake that's a big to-do, and we have all of our friends over for this party every year. We can't do it this year because of COVID restrictions. So you're telling that as a story, and how you showed up for those people to say, you know what, I got you. We have smaller sizes. I can make cupcakes so that they're individually wrapped, or whatever the case is, right? So maybe this one is check out our pricing online, and it tells them to go to your website and check out the pricing. So this is going to be a what type of post. So you're actually telling them what it is that you sell, how much it is that it costs. So you could honestly do the exact same thing over here for our social media list we've been working on. A company history gets into a bit of a why, most likely. Myths or about your product or your industry could get into a bit of, it could be an outside link. Maybe somebody's already put together a blog post like that. About the founders could talk about when, or it could be a story. Upgrading to the next product or service could tell them how do they actually do that. Something inspirational could be a video. That's a great little video. A Q&A could be what? Maybe a DIY could be an outside link. Talking about the way that your products or services save people money, could be a little bit short and sweet. And then maybe an interview with somebody could be a video. So you can see here that what we're doing is creating a manageable list. You look at this list of social media posts that you need to create, and you're looking at it saying, okay, all right, well, this one's an outside link, and I saw this post the other day when I was researching. I'll link to that. I'll make a post about that. Or this one's a video. And you know what? I'm going to be around somebody who inspires me on Saturday. Let me call them real quick and see if I can shoot us a little video while we're together. So by having this plan set out, instead of waking up tomorrow morning saying, well, I better post on social media today. I wonder what I should post about. Or it's been, 6 months since I sent out an email to my email subscribers. What the heck do I talk about? This makes it a little bit more manageable to look at it and go, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need to work on today. So whereas like when you work for someone else, sometimes you're given like a task list or this is what we need, this is your priorities. As business owners, we have to conjure that up, right? We have to create that. And planning and being creative are really two different things for your brain to function with. And your mind approaches those two things very differently. So if you can plan first, then you can get really creative later. Okay, so now let's talk about a call to action. I'm going to turn off my screen share for a second. So a call to action. I recommend writing out a call to action for almost every post. Now, on some of those short and sweet ones where you need to show up and not be super perfect, but you're just saying something to say, hey, I'm here. Those are ones where maybe you don't have a call to action, but let's shoot for regular call to actions, which is why it's in the template, right? So, with a call to action, what I've really found is that people are uncomfortable asking for someone to buy something from them. But really, at the end of the day, you're in business to do business, right? You're here to feed your family. You're here to keep the lights on, to buy the plants. I mean, whatever the thing is for you, right? And if you don't ever ask someone to buy from you, it is very likely that they won't. So they're like, oh, yeah, Crystal's doing great over there. She doesn't need anyone else to buy websites from her. She's got it, right? Or she doesn't have time to get to my website anyways. I hear that all the time. You seem really busy. But if I post and I say, I have availability to take on 2 more websites this month, somebody might jump on it. You have no idea. You will never know if that person would buy from you until you ask. So let's talk about why this is hard. A lot of people struggle with this because you're getting into the sales realm of things, and sales can be really freaking difficult, right? But here's why. Sales are difficult for people who don't have an ideal customer. I talk to a lot of businesses who say, but our products are so great. We could sell them to anyone. We could just sell them to anybody. Anybody could be interested in this, right? But the problem there is that if you're casting such a wide net and you're trying to speak to everyone at once, that no one feels actually heard. So the goal with selling anything is to have your buyers feel safe and understood. But that's an environment that as business owners, we have to create. That's not something that just exists for us one day, right? We need to actually create that environment for them. So if you don't have an ideal customer, now you may not always say, hey, moms who only have 2 kids that are under the age of 10 and you are living in this place and you only make this amount of money or whatever, like you may not say that on every piece of content that you put out, but at the same time you have that in the back of your mind when you're creating content for your audience. So where I see people struggle with calls to action or with sales, to be honest, is not having their customer in mind. The other reason why I see people really struggle with calls to action is because they haven't figured out their foundation yet, right? They haven't put the time and effort into crafting out products and services that make sense for that customer. So it's really important that you take a long look at what you're actually offering and say, is my customer base interested in this? Am I selling it at a price that's good for them? Have I dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's? Is my foundation there, right? I realized that it's really scary to hire someone for marketing for your business. It's scary because there are so many unknowns, and it's not something that everyone just understands. It takes years to learn, and really, the people who are doing it every day, like me, we're still learning and growing regularly. So for you to be running your business and momming it up over here, whatever the case is for you, and to know all the ins and outs of marketing, that's impossible. So it's daunting to think about just emailing somebody like me and saying, yeah, let me hire you to do this project for me. And then we're just going to get into a bunch of email threads, right? That feels really daunting. But when I switched to doing video onboarding with a lot of clients, to where I do a discovery call now with everyone. So I get them on video. We talk about their business. We talk about all the things that are important to them, their values, their customers, what they offer. And now we have a trust factor. And whether, they don't end up going with me because of budget or because of timing or whatever the case is, or maybe I just wasn't a great fit, now there's so much more peace of mind behind making a decision that's actually right for them. So when I switched to doing video calls, it made a massive difference. And what I realized is that I was actually giving my clients peace of mind before they hired me. So think about your clients for just a minute. Maybe they're really busy people. This is very common. So, they've been working all day. They finally get dinner on the table. They sit down and they're like, oh, we really need to have these carpets cleaned. They're filthy, right? But you're not open right now because it's 8 o'clock at night and you have zero way for them to contact you electronically. You have zero way for them to schedule a cleaning appointment with you online. This is a problem. The foundation of your business needs work. It needs to do better for them. You need to be showing up better for the people that you're trying to sell to. This is where a call to action is hard to write if you don't have the right foundation. So instead of saying, call us if you need to schedule a cleaning appointment, which is super vague and really hard for people to follow sometimes, you're saying, hey, moms, I get it. You're freaking busy, right? And if it's 8 o'clock at night and you need to schedule a cleaning appointment for your carpets, we got you. Just click this link, fill out the form, put in all your information, and we'll show up, even maybe for a touchless, contactless, whatever cleaning. Like, you do all the things in your foundation that make their lives a little bit easier. That's what solidifies sales. So the third reason why I think that a lot of people struggle with a call to action is because they don't know who they are yet. Who did that just resonate with, right? Where you're going, I don't know, I'm just trying to make money to feed my family. I don't really know my values. I don't really know who I'm trying to, speak to. I don't really know even if I'm doing the thing that lights my heart on fire, right? I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, I started selling this thing because it kind of fell in my lap, but I'm not really that excited about it. So I think it's really important for all business owners to do some soul work, to try to figure out, are you doing the thing that really makes you happy? Are you diving into, personal development? Are you working on your goals? Are you fulfilling yourself? What values do you carry? What values does your business carry? And once you know those things, it becomes a little bit easier to ask for what you want. because at the end of the day, I know that my heart is so in small businesses that I want to be the supporting role that makes their dreams come true, that I want to see their success more than anything. So I will work tirelessly to make that happen. And I know that. So I know when I ask for a sale that I'm not just saying, please give me money and it being an awkward conversation. I know that I have what it takes to make that happen for them. That's the kind of confidence that I want you to have, which comes from diving a little bit deeper and getting in here and knowing what it is that you want at the end of the day. One of my favorite examples of this in a really simplistic way is a taco shop in LA. So when I hired a story brand expert to help me with my website, sometimes when you're too close to the problem, you just can't figure it out. So I hired some help, and he gave me this example of this taco shop in LA. And they had 4 values, 4 things that they talked about regularly. One, good food. Right? They're a taco shop. Of course, they're going to talk about good food. The second one was friendship. They really wanted to see those big crowds of friends gathering for birthdays and celebrations and people that are like, yeah, let's go get a beer down here, right? They wanted that type of atmosphere in their environment. The third one was fun in the sun. They were like right on the beach. They wanted you to come out in your shorts and your flip-flops and get some sun while you were there and have a really good time. Maybe go for a walk down the boardwalk afterwards. The fourth one was great drinks, right? Because that all feeds into the fun that we're going to have at a taco shop. So creative cocktails, craft beers, they had it all figured out. And you know what? If you looked at their social media, which I'm so sad that I don't remember the name of the company or the restaurant, but when I looked at it at the time, they rotated through those 4 things all the time. All the time. It was good food, friends, fun in the sun, cocktails. Good food, friends, fun in the sun, cocktails, right? They just rotated through all of those things regularly, and then they challenged themselves to come up with new ways to approach those topics. And you know what? They had a massive following. And those are the things that they talked about all the time. So don't overthink it, but dive in a little deeper and know what values you have and what values your business has. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen one more time, because in your document here, in your template, you can actually write down what your call to action is. So if this one, let's see, upgrading to the next product or service, it says, maybe your call to action says something like, do you love your logo design, but struggle with showing up well on your website? Maybe it's time to get the website of your dreams. And then you say something like, book now, or get started, or whatever the case is, right? You say something and link them over to how they can take the next step. Super important. Okay, so the next one, maybe, and I'm giving just a couple of examples here, but maybe this one is talking about how your product or service saves your potential customer time or money. So let's go back to the carpet cleaning example. I'm going to go with moms. For some reason, moms are on my mind. Maybe I talked to my sister a minute ago. Okay, so we're going to say, hey, busy moms, scheduling cleaning at 9 p.m. after the kids are in bed is possible, right? All you have to do is click this link. Call to action, ask for the sale ask for what you want. Very important. Okay, so the next thing here is a category or an audience. Now, why is this important? I like to categorize my things based on I like to categorize my posts, my planning based on the service that I sell, because I actually sell a lot of different services, everything from logo design to web design to social media management. We do a lot of things over here. So I like to make sure that I use this category column to show up regularly for each of those services, because as a business owner, you're going to find yourself in different stages of business and you're going to need those things at different times, right? So you can show up and say, I can show up and say, okay, now we're talking about logos. Now we're talking about websites. Now we're talking about social media, and those categories are completing this column here. The other thing that you can do, and this becomes really important for email marketing, is actually get into an audience. Which audience are you speaking to with this post or with this newsletter? So if we are looking at newsletters here, ordering a cake is easy, and we're talking about the different ways that they can order. Maybe this audience here is a lead, right? Someone who hasn't purchased yet. So you're saying, hey, you can order from us. It's super easy. I bet you didn't even know this because you've never ordered from us before. So here we're talking to that person who's never done business with us yet. Maybe for delivery, your audience is your out of towners. So your out of town audience may want to send a delivery to someone in town that they know. So if you're targeting your out of town audience, one, you can tailor the content a little bit better to them, but two, with modern technology, you can actually send that email to only the people that are out of town if you want to. And you're not bogging everyone else down with something like delivery that they may not be interested in if they live 3 minutes down the road, right? But for someone from out of town that wants to send a gift, that delivery message is really important. So maybe birthdays look different this year. Maybe this is going to a general audience. This is going to everyone because we want to tell them that we understand what they're going through too. So checking out the pricing online, maybe this is going to go to a general audience as well. But if you have something specific for your business or the way that your business runs, you may get a little bit more specific there. Okay, so I really hope that breakdown of how to get into your the last three things that we talked about. Let me remind myself here. Oh, your writing style, your call to action, and your category or audience. Category can also apply to blog posts. So if you have your website categorized in certain ways, where you have like freebies or learning tools or company announcements or whatever, and that little sidebar on your blog is talking about those topics so they can go learn more about that topic, then that category may refer to your blog categories. So let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to use this template as a tracker so that you're not like looking at this and then going, crap, what do I do with it now? So we're going to actually use it as a tracker moving forward. You can share it with a virtual assistant or a team member or someone else who's helping you out so that you can actually keep track of where you're at on all of these things right here in the template. Then we're going to talk about how to kind of look at the different three main pieces of content creation, email marketing, blogs, and social media are what I've honed in on. So we're going to talk about how do these principles apply across the board to those different things. Okay. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about how to find authenticity in your marketing, which is one of my favorite topics. And where I'm going to actually teach you the pastor method of writing, which I learned from a book by Ray Edwards. So I'm really excited to keep the content calendar challenge going. And I would love to know in the group if you have any questions over what we've went over so far. I'm going to be at my desk all day tomorrow. So I would love to jump in the Facebook group and answer questions for you. So in the meantime, you can scroll back and watch any of the videos from this week. If this is your first one, I highly encourage going back and watching some of the older ones. And I will be here for questions. So we will see you guys very soon.